The real way to heal is in the roots and in the soil. So the roots are like your lymphatic system and the soil is your gut. So we've got to go to those two things to heal your entire tree. Otherwise, when you're working up here at the branch level, you're going to spend a lot of money, you're going to spin your wheels, and you're going to suffer, and you're going to think that you're destined to be sick forever. And I don't want that for you, because that was me. And I promised to God, I said, if you get me through this, God, this journey, then I will look back and teach other people how to get through their own fire by handing them buckets and having them put out the fire themselves, and also discovering and uncovering the arsonist that's setting fire to their body. I want you to set fire to your dreams instead of to your body.
You're listening to Cleanse, Heal, Ignite podcast, and I'm your hostess, Diane Kaiser, functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, former pro soccer player, transformational leader, holistic healer, and life purpose coach, helping you and your business awaken to your full potential. We are a transformation tribe of visionaries empowering passion-quenching, heart-centered advice to wellness warrior leaders on self-love, nutrition, mindset, and divorcing perfectionism. Our mission is to help you laugh your way to a sexy belly, love your way to vitality, and live your life with purpose by sharing real talk and truth drops that will help you cleanse your body, heal your hormones, and ignite your life. Side effects of this podcast may include all-day energy, happy hormones, perfect poops, increased confidence, becoming your own best healer, and catching the self-love virus. There's currently no vaccination to protect you from this and no known cure. In most cases, listeners experience a strong desire to accept new challenges, ditch toxic people, follow their heart, and dance like no one's watching. If you experience moods happier than usual, live it unapologetically and share with your social media friends immediately.
Hello, beautiful warrior out there. My name is Diane Kaiser, and I want to talk to you today about some major myths that are running around in the world of medicine and healing, and bust some myths, because I work with a lot of women, a lot of people. I've been doing this work for over 10 years now, leading people through detoxes, as working with functional medicine labs, as a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner. I'm also a holistic health coach, which means that I look at how your emotions and your beliefs show up as symptoms, sickness, and suffering. And I try to fuse it all together with each person, because every one of you is so unique. The amount of toxins that you have is unique. Your genetics are unique. What's going on in your gut is unique. Your hormone levels are unique. And the stories that you're carrying around about yourself are extremely unique. So today I want to talk specifically about breast implants, and not just implants in general, but women who come to me as their guide to help them through various phases along the explant journey. What I mean by explant is removing your breast implants. So to implant is to put some big, huge jellyfish looking things that look like jelly donuts filled with 30 plus heavy metals and toxins that are dangerous for our bodies. And that's basically the definition of autoimmune disease, right? Is in putting something into, on, or around your body that is non-native to the body, that it does not recognize, that will eventually cause some kind of an immune system reaction inside of the body, where it goes danger, 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 danger. And the immune system responds to it by trying to clear it out of the body. And unfortunately, whatever the toxin is inside of the body, it looks like our tissues. And according to the work of my friend, Dr. Tom O'Brien, who wrote the Autoimmune Fix, this is called a molecular mimicry, and the body will accidentally, it doesn't do anything by accident, I'll just say that, but the body will inadvertently attack the tissues of your body, thinking that it's the toxin because it looks just like the toxin, and the tissue are very similar. So that's what molecular mimicry is. This is one of the reasons why so many people are struggling and suffering today, because about 5 years ago, when I was researching all the different toxins that are in, on, or around our body, I said, there's no way humans were designed by God to sustain this level of toxic load in the body. You know, the average person has over 750 chemicals inside of their body, which are, according to the EPA, contributing to 95% of inflammation, which is a major root cause of disease, as well as the main cause of chronic illness today. So we are living in an absolutely toxic world. And this video I am dedicating to my client, Anna, in Mexico, who recently came to me for healing because she read my book, which is called Killer Breasts. Many of you guys may have also seen my docuseries, Dying to be Beautiful in Iconic Media, or also may have seen my non-toxic beauty summit that launched in 2020. I've done a lot of work. You may have cleansed with me in the Warrior Cleanse, and now I'm launching another one in April of 2021 called the Warrior Detox, where we're going to get really, really deep with a lot of toxins that people have never, ever really been taught that are a big root cause, if not the biggest root cause of their illnesses, including the ones that your doctor will say to you, we don't know what's wrong with you. Let's run some more labs. Let's run some more scans. Let's just cut out an organ. It must just be your genes. You're just getting old. You just need to work out more. You just need to stress less. You just need to change your diet. You just need to take these supplements or do this cleanse. And while all of those things could be helpful for you, or some of those things, I should say, we're still not getting anywhere close to the root cause of why my client Anna and so many clients who come to me are suffering, or you who are watching me is wondering, what the heck's going on? This can't be my new normal. I can't stand that new phrase, new normal. Your body is always trying to talk to you in the language of symptoms, but it's not your fault that no one has ever taught you how to listen to it. Okay. So my job here on this mission in this life is to teach you to remove and reduce shame from the vocabulary of your mind so that you stop beating yourself up, so that you stop beating yourself up with symptoms that are emerging from two things: toxins and trauma, which is to say the things that you're breathing in, the things that you're consuming, the things you're applying to your body, the things that live inside of your body, like breast implants, like silver fillings in the mouth, which oral issues and infections are the big cause of about 75% of chronic disease. So this is not something that you were born knowing. This is not something that was taught in school. This is not even something that your doctor learned in school. This is something that the New Earth Project, led by me, is teaching you, because I want you to be your own best friend. I want you to be your own best doctor. And I want you to be your own best health advocate, knowing that when your body is trying to communicate to you with a symptom, it's trying to say, hey, mom, hey, dad, look down here. There's something wrong. Alert, 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 check engine light. And the unfortunate reality is that you have only been taught to just cover the check engine light with duct tape, or worse off, like what doctors say, let's remove the organ, which is to say, let's remove the check engine light. This is ludicrous and it needs to stop, unless you're, of course, a person that does not want to take your power back and does not want to listen to your body and not feel your best. But if that is you, let's continue. I'm going to show you the exact labs that Anna came to me and that we ran. I'm going to show you the exact struggle that she was going through when she came to me. I'm going to talk about the just plain ludicrousy of what's happening in the toxic beauty industry, and as well as what many surgeons are saying to clients that I'm working with, to their patients, that they don't want to remove their breast implants. They're going to look funny and no one's going to love them. Are you kidding me? This needs to stop. If you ever hear a surgeon or a doctor or anybody for that matter say that to you, you need to remove them from your life, but also realize that we draw people into our life that are speaking to us the same way that we are speaking to ourselves. And so if you're keeping these people around, if you're still working with that surgeon that tells you that you need to get breast implants again because you're going to look weird and strange and not proportional, then you probably have something going on inside of your mind, which is why I always say that healing begins in the mind. So if you have a broken belief that says, I'm not going to heal, it didn't work before, I tried everything, and maybe this is my new normal, and that's what you're comfortable with, you just might self-sabotage yourself into maintaining that level of illness and symptoms. But if you're somebody who's truly fed up with being told that it's all in your head, that there's nothing that we could do, that you just need to take this pill, let's run another gene test, let's check your blood test again, let's do another scan, just do another set of supplements, and let's not talk about how your body is always in harmony and in flow, then maybe it's time for a reboot. So today I'm going to talk to you about all of the four cornerstones of health that need to all be dialed in for you to heal and for you to heal fast. And I say heal because I'm not going to heal you. You heal you. My role is to teach all of you to self-heal by partnering with someone like myself, or learning how to do this on your own, which I don't advocate for because it is a very crazy maze out there right now. And you're going to learn that when you see these labs. So let's get started here. I want to start just specifically by saying that women who come to me for breast implant illness and who want to heal post explant, to bring their bodies back because they've been tired and sick for so long, many of the symptoms, which in the breast implant illness world, are comprised of about 80 different symptoms. It's said to be about 35, but there are about 80 that I was experiencing. So each person is radically different. But for many women who have breast implant illness, it surfaces like autoimmune disease. It surfaces like hormonal imbalances. It looks like gut dysfunction. It looks like toxic load and lymphatic stagnation and brain fog, and what I call weight gain, energy drain, broken brain, and body pain. Now you're going to hear this and you might think to yourself, God, that sounds like me, but I don't have breast implants. And that's why I say the unfortunate reality is that for most of us who are sick today, it doesn't take breast implants to push us over the edge to feel sick. Many of the women who come to me who've never had breast implants say, God, a lot of those symptoms sound just like me. How could that be? Because we are all doing many things to our bodies, to our beautiful temples, unknowingly poisoning ourselves because we assume that the FDA and the EPA and everybody has done the research and done the homework and has proven these things to be safe. If you want to really see the truth on this, watch The Bleeding Edge and you'll see that that is absolutely false. So let's dive into this with the specifics of breast implants and what I want women out there who have had breast implants, or maybe who are even considering breast implants, or who are considering explant to understand. These things make every woman ill. If you want to sign up for autoimmune disease, put something inside of your body that is toxic and non-native to the body, that the body will react and inadvertently, accidentally attack you. So that's the number one thing I'll say. And number two, if you're experiencing symptoms and you do have breast implants and you think to yourself, well, no, I'm not having problems with my breasts. There's no issue with my breasts. They're fine. They're intact. They don't give me any problems. That was me 5 years ago when I first ran into this whole breast implant illness journey. And I said, oh, my boobs feel fine. I don't have any lumps. A couple years later, I did. I did a lot of scans, tens of thousands of dollars later, and many different doctors later, I determined that I actually had a lot of lumps in my breasts. I had fibrocystic breasts. But first, I didn't even know what to feel for. I didn't realize that putting something here could result in something down in another part of my body being infected, or that there's meridians from each one of your teeth down to each organ that could cause peripheral dysfunction and inflammation and pain. So just know that just because one part of your body does not feel out of balance does not mean that it is not causing issues in other parts of your body. And that is what Chinese medicine is all about. I've gone to 27 different countries and studied medicine and healing and detox and culture and how to self-heal using nature. So I've worked with a lot of different doctors on these different things. I talk about Ayurveda and things in India that they've used for thousands of years to self-heal, and lots of Chinese medicine, lots of the best in Western medicine, and what kinds of medications might be helpful as a bridge until you get to the other side of natural self-healing. Okay. So just know that if you get breast implants, there's usually going to be some repercussions. Toxic beauty today, like Botox, lots of repercussions. And other things, of course, like diet and supplements that we're using, the air that we're breathing, the water that we're filtering. We think that we're filtering with Brita and everything, we're just fine. Usually it's nowhere near deep enough to really get to the root of the main toxins that are not being talked about in very many places today, and that are the most insidious things that are causing illness, especially in women with breast implants. We've got heavy metals, which I'll just say metals as a shortcut. We've got mold, and we've got mycotoxins, which are the byproducts released from a lot of these bugs that live in the gut that are bad bugs, as well as molds. Those are 3 M's: metals, mold, and mycotoxins. So again, you don't have to have breast implants to have these issues. You could be living in a moldy home. But the reason I'm putting this disclaimer out is because I don't want you to sign off just because this woman has breast implants and had her breast implants removed. I want you to look at these labs that are the staples of what we use in my practice, as well as several other diagnostic tools. As I don't diagnose disease, I just look at possible root causes for why you might be suffering. And then also look at the toxic load. It's very hard to go get a ton of tests. And this is what I see a lot. People go spend tens of thousands of dollars in labs, and they'll bring them all to me and say, here's a briefcase. And I'll say, great. These are all great and all, but we're working up here at the branch level. The reason why a tree is my logo for my business is because you are a tree and I treat you like a tree. If people are treating you at the branch level, which is the different systems of your body, and there's 11 systems of your body, like your endocrine system and your digestive system, your detoxification system. There's different systems of your body. And then the leaves or the small branches are the symptoms that you may experience if those systems are out of balance. The real way to heal is in the roots and in the soil. So the roots are like your lymphatic system and the soil is your gut. So we've got to go to those 2 things to heal your entire tree. Otherwise, when you're working up here at the branch level, you're going to spend a lot of money, you're going to spin your wheels, and you're going to suffer, and you're going to think that you're destined to be sick forever. And I don't want that for you, because that was me. And I promised to God, I said, if you get me through this, God, this journey, then I will look back and teach other people how to get through their own fire by handing them buckets and having them put out the fire themselves, and also discovering and uncovering the arsonist that's setting fire to their body. I want you to set fire to your dreams, instead of to your body.
You're listening to Cleanse, Heal, Ignite podcast, and I'm your hostess, Diane Kaiser, functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, former pro soccer player, transformational leader, holistic healer, and life purpose coach, helping you and your business awaken to your full potential. We are a transformation tribe of visionaries empowering passion-quenching, heart-centered advice to wellness warrior leaders on self-love, nutrition, mindset, and divorcing perfectionism. Our mission is to help you laugh your way to a sexy belly, love your way to vitality, and live your life with purpose by sharing real talk and truth drops that will help you cleanse your body, heal your hormones, and ignite your life. Side effects of this podcast may include all-day energy, happy hormones, perfect poops, increased confidence, becoming your own best healer, and catching the self-love virus. There's currently no vaccination to protect you from this and no known cure. In most cases, listeners experience a strong desire to accept new challenges, ditch toxic people, follow their heart, and dance like no one's watching. If you experience moods happier than usual, live it unapologetically and share with your social media friends immediately.
So let's get started. Now, Anna, she, like many women, thought, well, if I just remove my breast implants, then everything will get better. And that's just not true, because for so many years, these implants have been leaking or bleeding, and these toxins have been collected in many of your 600 to 1,000 lymphatic nodes throughout the entire body. And, the majority of which are located in your gut, and which is really close to your reproductive organs, right? So that should tell you something, that when you're in a rut, we must address the gut. So many women, when they get their implants out, they think, okay, I got to detox. But what I want you to understand is that we've got to detox, we've got to heal your gut, and we've also got to optimize your hormones all at the same time, while simultaneously keeping your mindset right, that you can reset your body and heal. And you really need to believe that healing is possible for you. So one of the myths that you're going to see too, that I'm going to talk about today, is that the body will just detox heavy metals and silicone and saline all by itself. I don't need to do anything other than remove my implants, because, my body's already detoxing and it will happen in time. That's what many doctors will tell you. That is absolutely false. Especially if you have a lot of hormones that are imbalanced and that are deficient, you're not going to have a lot of energy to turn the lights on, because detox takes a lot of work. So we're going to make sure that all those systems are on board to support you. A lot of people also think that you need to do just a candida cleanse or just a parasite flush to heal your gut. Let's show you right now, with these labs that I run in my practice, why that is absolutely false. All right. So I'm going to first start off by sharing my screen here. And we're going to start first with the gut. Okay. So that you guys can see. Okay, now here is Anna's test, and she gave me the okay to share this. So we're going to start here. What we look at on these labs, and again, this is not something that your doctor has been trained on. They may run a stool test to look for certain bugs. Usually there's a good 15 or so, but our microbial test is very sensitive and looks at all different species of candida, which is one of the types of funguses that is said to be high in 75% of us, which only shows up when the body thinks it's dying. The mind will tell the body, okay, it's dying. We got to make some fungus here so we can break down the body and decompose it so it goes back to earth and soil, right? So we look at mold, we look at mycotoxins, we look at different kinds of bugs in my practice, but specifically on this lab, we're looking at parasites, fungus, and bacterial overgrowth, as well as specific types of viruses. So we look at those different types of things. So we're looking at infection. We're also looking at imbalances of microbes, which your microbes determine everything in your body. We're looking at immune system dysfunction. We're looking at inflammation. And then we're looking at intolerances. And what that means is certain kinds of foods like gluten. So that's 5 I's. I think there's another I. I always forget that one. But anyway, The first thing here we're looking at is this top one. And this is typically the ones that doctors run in Western medicine. They're looking to see, have you been exposed to, or do you have high levels of any of these really dangerous bugs? These are the high danger bugs. Like if you had some of these overgrowths, you could be on your way to dying, and they probably need some kind of antibiotic interference. According to Andy Wakefield, in the next 10 years, he predicts that antibiotic resistance will be one of the leading causes of death, because when we're killing off the bad bugs, we're also killing off the good bugs. And eventually these bad bugs will no longer be resistant, or they'll become resistant to antibacterial treatment. And one of the things we do in this lab is that if you do end up with one of these pathogens, which I do see commonly about 25% of the time, it also will tell us the different kinds of antibiotics that will work for the bugs that show up. So that's really important. Otherwise, you could be taking antibiotics that don't even work and will kill your good bugs, but won't kill the bad bugs. So this first page here, she didn't have anything that showed up, which is good. These are the dangerous ones, also parasites, also viruses, right? This next page, what I have been seeing, and I'm not exaggerating, almost every single person I tested in 2020, including myself, had H. pylori. It is said that H. pylori is something that's common to inhabit the stomach, but when it shows up on this lab, it is at a dangerous level. It's starting to, in her case, she doesn't have, it's not in the red, but when it shows up here, it means that it is growing in her stomach. H. pylori is something that, it's a type of bacteria that when it's present, it will turn down the stomach acid in your stomach. And I wrote an article several years ago for a local newspaper in Orange County that was called Stomach Acid, the Fountain of Youth, ? Because a lot of people say, oh, go on a high alkaline diet, acid's bad for you, acid's bad for you. Yes, in certain parts of the body, but not all of them. You absolutely need to manage your pH in every part of your body. It's different. And with H. pylori, this bug turns down the stomach acid in your stomach so that you are not fully able to properly digest food, and turning things like proteins into amino acids into neurotransmitters to feed your brain, and as such causes the broken brain, right? Depression, anxiety, inability to sleep, ADHD, multiple personality disorder, bipolar, just a general brain fog issues, things like that. There's a lot of different broken brain problems that people are suffering from today. And that starts here in the gut. So when I work with people who have brain issues, broken brain issues, I'm starting with the gut, because it determines everything. Think about it. Your stomach then has arms that go out to every system of your body. So when adjust your gut. So her H. pylori turned up high, which means if she has low stomach acid, she's not breaking down her food well. She's also not releasing properly digestive enzymes, pancreatic enzymes, proteolytic enzymes to help heal her tissues after exercise or after a surgery. Also not breaking down foods properly, all the different types of macronutrients like the carbohydrates, the fats. If she's not breaking down fats very well, she's not absorbing fat soluble vitamins very well, like A, D, E, and K. She's also probably not eliminating fat soluble toxins from the body either, that many of them are, like heavy metals. So if you're not breaking down these macronutrients, then everything else in your body is going to suffer. So when your body's stomach acid is turned down, the other organs are not releasing the proper things, like enzymes from your pancreas, and then also bile, from your liver, which is secreted from the gallbladder. A lot of people are having their gallbladder removed because they're not really they're not releasing a lot of bile from these organs. And so it gets congested with the bile. Bile also is comprised of a lot of fat, which a lot of these toxins get stored in. Fat soluble toxins get stored in fat, which gets stored in these organs. So we need to make sure our body is properly moving these things around. The main complaints that Anna came to me with is that she felt extremely fatigued. She had poor immune function, and she had a lot of brain fog, and she felt a lot of body pain, and like her workouts, she was not recovering very well at the gym. So she was like, I'm doing everything right. So what is going on here? After she explanted, and she explanted in 2020 after she implanted a second set of breast implants in 2019, because her doctor told her, oh, you're not going to like your body if you explant. You should just get another set, because she was having a lot of symptoms. So anyway, I digress. 95% plus of my practice last year has showed up as H. pylori. And this is not good, because this means that your body is not also able to make healthy hormones because it perceives stress coming from the gut. So your hormones are going to produce, your adrenals are going to produce more stress hormones than sex and sleep hormones because they're trying to put the fires out in your gut. So when this acid is turned down, the stomach also is not going to be as successful at eradicating pathogens. In other words, bad bugs that you might be drinking, you might be eating, that you might be inhaling, that you might be applying to your skin, which by the way becomes a part of you and goes into your bloodstream and pumps throughout your entire body within a minute of applying it. So when you have low stomach acid, then you have more bugs that are running around. So I'll explain to you a little bit more as I scroll down through this lab that whenever I see H. pylori, I typically see a ton of other issues like candida overgrowth, lots of parasites, and high levels of unhealthy bacteria. So what I see, and the big reason why I tell people you can't just go on a candida or a parasite cleanse without looking at the big picture, is if they do a candida, or if this woman did a candida or a parasite flush without treating the H. pylori, the candida and the bacteria would probably what? Come back, right? Because if she doesn't have enough stomach acid to break down these bugs, they're going to keep coming back. So it's really important to address this H. pylori first and also simultaneously work with whatever other bugs are downstream. The reason those bugs are there is usually because this H. pylori is there as well. And so what that looks like and the different types of species of bugs here, let me just look over here at my notes to make sure I'm covering everything. Okay. She fortunately didn't have one of the virulent factors of H. pylori. That's great. If somebody had a high level of these virulent H. pylori bugs, then that means that we usually have to use antibiotic treatments. And these are the ones that typically cause stomach cancer. So that's one good thing about the type of H. pylori that I have seen in her lab. Now, these normal bacteria flora, we want to see these within this normal range over here, but she's got what's called dysbiosis. She's got numbers all over the place, low numbers of certain species of healthy bugs, high levels of species of other bugs like Clostridia. I do commonly see Clostridia high in people who have H. pylori. And also, when people have Clostridia, it also can tend to increase what's called beta-glucuronidase. And that's something that when I see this high, it usually means that a woman is probably going to be estrogen dominant as well. So this is why this is so important, taking probiotics, making sure that your gut bugs are healthy. And you also want to get rid of the bad bugs, but also making sure that H. pylori is in check and reducing things in your life that cause high levels of H. pylori, like emotional stress, toxins. And I always say toxins and trauma because it pretty much breaks down to all of that. Toxins and trauma, and having those present will usually affect your body and affect your gut top down. It starts here with H. pylori, and all of these things below it will come as a result of those two things. So the stress levels that she's experiencing are possibly, and what many people are experiencing, are causing a lot of this downstream imbalance. So this is what I said, we're going to look at balances of gut microbes. So she has a high level of imbalance. This is called dysbiosis. So that's the second I. So she has infection, she has imbalances. And now we're going to look down here at infection, more infection. So she has high levels of Morganella. I also see this with H. pylori. Usually this is high with H. pylori as well. And Morganella is a really gnarly one. Many people, when they have high levels of Morganella, I see this very commonly, it causes a histamine release. And when you have histamine release in the body, there's allergies, there's asthma, there's ADD, there's anxiety, there's brain fog, sinus issues, respiratory problems. And histamine is something that people will go take cortisone shots for. When you do cortisone shots, it actually reduces the amount of cortisol that your adrenals will make and makes you more tired over time. So you may address the symptoms of what feels like having allergies and brain issues, but now you're asking the adrenals to make less of that hormone. So then you'll end up more tired in the end. So this is why we want to go to the root cause, right? And a lot of women who have had breast implants, or a lot of people who have had chemical reactions, a lot of chemical intolerances, food intolerances, et cetera, it's because of these gut microbes that are causing these intolerances or reactions to chemicals or bugs or foods. A lot of women come to me and they're like, I can only eat 5 foods because anytime I eat a food, I react. That's because you have high levels of histamines in the body, usually produced by these certain kinds of gut bugs. So if you have any of those issues, especially brain fog, especially allergies, especially intolerances to certain foods and chemicals, we've got to work here. We've got to work on the gut bug level to see what kind of bugs might be causing that. Okay. And then let's see here. The other thing is she's got other bugs too, like staph. And she also has some bugs here that are code for the literature shows that these are when these bugs show up in the literature, showing that these are the kinds of bugs that flag for things like rheumatoid arthritis, which could explain her body pain, right? Arthritis is itis. Anything itis is inflammation of the whatever part of the body. So she has potential autoimmune triggers showed up. I don't always see this, but when they show up, then it means that we've got some serious gut bugs to address. She didn't show up with candida. However, when it does show up in this lab, because this lab is pretty sensitive, it means this is pretty high level. So I'm still working on treating her for all the bugs. And doing this in a way where you don't have to take like 5 supplements for each bug. I'll explain to you a little bit more about what that means in a minute. And then also last but not least, I typically tend to see this with women who have breast implants. I'll see parasites like blastocystic commonis. Blastocystic commonis is also very common with H. pylori. And I also see this a lot with women who have had breast implants. These parasites, what they do is they mop up the mess of heavy metals. So they go in and they're like the bottom feeders, like worms on the bottom. The worms are like the bottom feeders in a tank, in a fish tank, that mop up the mess at the bottom. So this is what I talk about often. When someone has, they go on a gut bug killing spree, they go on a parasite detox, and we're killing the parasites. When the parasites get killed, and also candida, well, when the parasites get killed, then they release candida fungus that they're hoarding inside of their bodies. They're also releasing heavy metals. So the reason why she may not show high in candida right now is because they're living inside of parasites. This is very, very common. Not every parasite gobbles up this stuff, but it's really important because, we can only do so much in these tests that somebody is addressing heavy metals and candida at the same time they're addressing parasites. So again, this is why I say, don't just go on a candida cleanse by itself or a parasite cleanse on by itself, or just doing a heavy metal flush without looking at the gut if you have some serious symptoms, especially with women who've had breast implant illness and removed their breast implants. Let's look at the big picture. Let's look at your hormones. Let's look at your gut. Let's look at your toxic load. Let's look at your mindset. And of course, where are these toxins coming from? Because the arsonist could be also, having a shitty relationship, or it could be that you have mold in your home or something like that as well. So no worms showed up. That's very uncommon for me to see. But like I said, if she's got this high level of beta glucuronidase, she probably has estrogen dominance, which is why some women who might have low estrogen come up on this. I see this commonly. They'll have low estrogen show up on their blood tests, and the doctor will prescribe them estrogen. But if they're not clearing estrogen properly, it's just going to cause more problems, cause estrogen dominance and high levels of unused estrogen in the body that just tend to move and float around the body. In this case, that's what's happening with her, likely because when I see this high level of beta glucuronidase, this means that she's got liver congestion. She's probably got a high toxic load. She probably has a lot of bugs going on, which we're seeing that she does. And if a woman is prescribed estrogen and isn't flushing it out properly, it'll just move back up throughout the body and cause other problems. Estrogen causes things to grow. It causes, of course, like your hair and your skin may look more glowy and growy, but it causes weight gain. If you think about what estrogen does, it causes weight gain. It causes things to grow like fibroids, cysts, tumors, cancers, etc. So we really, really want to be careful. This is why I say to everyone, before you go get hormones prescribed, let's take a look at what your body is even doing with them, which will be the next lab I'm going to show you. The last thing I want to mention here is secretory IgA, and this is a gold standard immune system marker. This is the last eye that I'm looking at. Actually, there's one other one, but there's inflammation. I told you I was going to look at inflammation, and hers is low. So this is not something that's extremely important at this point, although right now we're addressing the whole thing, which will reduce inflammation on its own. It's just not happening in the gut. So the secretory IgA, this is your gold standard immune marker. So I'd like to see this around 1200, 1500. She's at 300. So she's functioning about a fourth, about 25%. Her immune system is only functioning at about 25%. How important do you think your immune system is in 2021 and beyond, right? We're being told that we need to get our immune system injected into us from the outside because our body is not strong enough to fight off outside bugs, chemicals, foreign invaders. So instead of just saying, I want to be reliant on the outside of somebody, for somebody to give me my immune system. How about let's become self-reliant by asking the question, first of all, how healthy is my immune system beyond just liver enzymes that they do on a blood test? How well is my body functioning at the gut level? Because 70 to 80% of your immune system lives inside of your gut. And this is the gold standard immune marker right here. Secretory IgA is mucosal lining. This is the mucosal lining secretion. And this is where your body will release. So, IgA stands for immunoglobulins. There's different kinds of them, A, E, G. And so this secretory IgA is the one that if it is this low, it says we need to work on the gut lining. We need to work on healing the gut. You probably have leaky gut. You probably have an overreactive gut. You probably have high histamine levels. You probably have a gut that's overworked and it can't get rid of the bugs as fast as your body is reproducing them. You're exposed to them, et cetera. So we absolutely need to work on this. And for some people who take probiotics, this is why when this level is so low and they have high histamine levels in the body, which is what, beta glucuronidase, they're going to get sicker with a probiotic. So this is where working with a practitioner is vital, because you can't just go to the store and just grab any probiotic with the highest amount of strains that needs refrigeration. That is like 10 years old advice, probably more like 5, because the gut microbiome project came out about 5 years ago. So what we now know from studying the gut microbes and the whole microbial environment is that this is a woman who will benefit with a different strain of probiotics than most people are taking right now. I'm not going to say what it is here because I want to make sure that you don't just go out and buy it. Every person needs to have this customized to them. So I see this often with breast implants or not, low secretory IgA, and we've got to work at this first. If you have such a low secretory IgA, then sometimes it's so low that the body can't even absorb the probiotics that are that they're consuming, that they're taking in pill form, and so it might just flow throughout her whole body. So she's got a lot of stuff going on here. And then one last thing here is intolerances. The intolerances she has, I always check to see how somebody is reacting to gluten. And this is anti-gliadin is the protein, and the body's response to responding to the protein, which gliadin is the main protein in gluten. So it doesn't mean she's not gluten sensitive or intolerant, or that I recommend she consume gluten, because I recommend that no one does, because it's all sprayed with glyphosate, which is Agent Orange, which was used in World War II to kill people. And now is used as a desiccant for the harvesting of wheat. So desiccant, I can never say that right. But I don't recommend anybody eat gluten anyway. But in her case, her body is not going nuts on it. So that's one of the intolerances that we check for, which, by the way, I don't recommend you go out and get a bunch of food sensitivity tests done until you first have checked the gut. Because as long as your gut looks like this, you're probably going to be sensitive to a lot of things. And it's just going to frustrate you because you have a leaky gut. And a lot of the foods that show up on a food sensitivity panel are the ones that you eat the most commonly. Why do they show up that way? Because the ones you eat the most commonly are the ones that'll probably be leaking through your gut into the bloodstream, which is where you're going to have IgG response to the foods that you're most commonly consuming, because you can't trigger results unless you have consumed that food within the last few months or so. So don't waste your money on expensive genetic testing. Don't waste your money on expensive food sensitivity testing and chemical panels and a whole bunch of really expensive heavy metal tests, and especially blood tests or chelation. The reason why is because I want to get you to the foundations of what will likely work without you having to spend a lot of money, which is what a lot of my clients do before they get to me. I can't tell you what to do. This is not medical advice. I'm just saying that this is kind of like if I were you, and also based on my experience of working with lots of clients now over the last 10 years. I've worked with thousands. So here's the other one I wanted to show you. This is Anna's, this is her hormone test. Beyond blood testing, we look at 4 to 5 different times of what your hormone production, metabolism, and clearance looks like throughout the day. And it's telling you how effective that your body is at using hormones. So what good are hormones that you take in exogenous form, creams, pills, patches, if your body is not even properly using them? And they probably won't get into the cell if the cell is completely riddled with toxins. And this is why I say that in the warrior detox and the work that I do with my clients is that we knock the bad stuff out so the good stuff can get in. What I mean by that is we knock the bad stuff out of your cells so that the good stuff, like your hormones and nutrients and vitamins and hormones, can get in, or the vitamins and whatever minerals can get into the cell. But your cell can't receive anything as long as it's occupied by bad stuff like toxins, right? And in this case, Anna is very toxic, and I'll get to that. Neurotoxic, that is, heavy metal toxic, mold toxic, mycotoxin toxic. So, and in her case, Anna, as you can see, is 50 years old. And so she is pretty much at that point where she's not cycling, regularly. A lot of women who are 25 and have breast implants are not cycling regularly. They've got like menopausal hormones and they look like this. This is what you would look like, by the way, if you were on birth control. Your body thinks it's in menopause. So no wonder why you don't have a sex drive when you take birth control, right? You could also see a lot of things I've done on birth control, my YouTube video on why I don't recommend it, maybe as a bridge until we get to the root cause of why your hormones are off to begin with. So you can't fix hormones with hormones, my friends. You can't do it. You got to understand why your hormones are off to begin with. So again, if you're the kind of person who just wants to take a pill to feel better and that's it, and you don't want to work on the root cause, the video is probably not for you and you probably wouldn't have gone this far. But if you want to get to the root of why you're not feeling well and you're sick, suffering, and symptomatic, let's keep going. So this is that urine collection test. We collect 4 to 5 times. So we're looking at your full circadian rhythm of how your body is producing your stress, sex, and sleep hormones. As you can see here, Anna is basically low in the tank. For somebody her age, and she's 50 years old, I like to see a bit higher on these numbers. We'd like to see this at about 12 o'clock. For each person. But again, she's in menopause or close to menopause, I should say. So she's not yet in postmenopausal range, but she has hormones that are acting like it. So she's got postmenopausal hormones, even though she's only 50. She also has very low testosterone levels as well. So DHEA is completely in the tank. DHEA makes estrogen and testosterone. So definitely one of the things I recommended to her was to take some DHEA supplements. Every person's levels are different on how much I recommend. In this case, she's producing a very, very low level of cortisol. This is her stress hormone, but she has a lot that's running around. And usually when I see this looking like this, somebody has some kind of degree of thyroid issue. So she's not making a lot, but she has a lot running around. It probably means she's got sluggish clearance, which is what metabolism means. So I usually look at thyroid panels and not just TSH, T4, and T3. We're looking at antibodies. We're looking at the different kinds of hormones, T3, free T4, and then total TSH, as well as does somebody have a reverse happening, reverse T3, which usually means that the adrenals are saying, slow down thyroid production. We need to slow this person down. We need to conserve. So that's not good. Many doctors don't look at that stuff. These are how we get to the total numbers. Oh, I forgot to mention this here. For somebody in Anna's age, we like to see between 750 and 2,000. So like 1,000 at least for DHEA, and hers is 1/3. So no wonder why she's so tired, right? You need sex hormones, my friends. You need them. But again, just taking DHEA is not the answer. We're getting to the root of why her DHEA is so low is because she has a lot of stress, physical, emotional, and chemical. Physical, because of course her body's had to carry on these breast implants and the inflammation throughout her body for so many years because of it. Emotional, because it is a very emotional process to go through explant. And she went through a divorce a long time ago, a very difficult divorce. And that is a lot, plus 2 children, had 2 children, and plus the weight of the world today. And then chemical stress, you will see her toxic load next. So all those things, physical, emotional, chemical, are all the reasons why somebody's stress levels will be super high. The body will prioritize stress at the expense of sex and sleep hormones, because the body's trying to keep you alive. Body's not going to want to have sex when it perceives the tiger's chasing after it, right? So we'll make sex hormones. So most people's sex drive is in the shitter as well when I work with them. Okay, so this is looking at metabolism. How well is her body doing at clearing her hormones, right? Utilizing her hormones. So in this case, what I look at as percentages of certain hormones, this doesn't look too bad here because she's got more of the green, which is good. And I'm going to skip through some of this because I look at this for each person. But what I do want to say is she just generally got low hormones. So this is not really a big picture showing a lot. I do want to see low levels of the red because that is the DNA mutating for OHE1. But ultimately, what I'm looking at here is how well is her body detoxing according to her phase 1 and phase 2 liver detox, and her body is not doing a very, very good job of detox. I'd like to see this somewhere here on the right side or in the middle, but she's trending a little bit low, and that's usually that she needs to support phase 2 detoxification in the liver. What does that mean? I'll talk to you more about it in my program if you guys join it, because it'll make more sense. It's not super sciencey, but it's how to eat a proper way, certain foods to consume, how often to consume them, water to drink, the supplements to take, etc. And then the last thing here is that she's got lower levels of melatonin. Melatonin is a really powerful I can't say that. Hold on. Melatonin is a firefighter that puts out inflammation while you're at rest, right? So cortisol is a firefighter for the daytime. Melatonin is a firefighter for the nighttime. So she's low in melatonin. So melatonin is very supportive of the immune system. It's supportive of your body's ability to fight off any kind of bugs or cancers. It also helps to repair the body while you sleep. 95% of fat burning happens while you sleep. So now you're seeing why broken brain, body pain, weight gain, energy drain are all something that we can dive deep into as to why you're feeling the way that you do in these labs, right? So far beyond the blood testing, because the blood testing is just looking at how much your body has running around, but it doesn't look at how much your body is actually producing, utilizing, metabolizing, and clearing. That's why we look at this big picture, and then what your gut has to do with that, right? So anyway, she's got really low levels of cortisol, low levels of DHEA. She's just flatlined in all of her sex, stress, and sleep hormones. Not a big surprise. Anna came to me. She's eating really healthy. What I do take a look at, I look at this big picture on what she's consuming. And one of the things that I wanted to show you just very quickly is that she is actually eating pretty healthy. I look at people's poop cycles, urinary cycles, how much they're eating, drinking, what they did throughout the day, what their plate looked like, what time they eat. I look at all this stuff. And so as you can see, she's not eating terribly. She might be eating too much meat because she doesn't have enough stomach acid. But she's definitely not eating terribly. She's eating vegetables. She's not eating fast food. She's not drinking a lot of caffeinated beverages, soda, alcohol. She's drinking water. This woman is a personal trainer and an exercise enthusiast, and she wants to get back to the gym. She wants to get back to her life. So she's doing a lot of things, and she's like, I don't understand why it's still not working. Okay. So the last thing I wanted to show you is her toxic load. So this is something that I look at with every single person that I'm working with, and this is vital. There's 4 pages of this. If you guys want to see how toxic that you are, you can go to my website, dianekaiser.com, and say, take the toxic quiz, and it'll tell you how toxic you are. It won't tell you the number, but it'll say low, medium, or high. I think this detox that I'm leading, called the Warrior Detox, needs to be something that every single person does, because we are at a crossroads with how many toxins we're exposed to, a lifetime of toxicity. Many people just have no idea. Toxins from the silver fillings in our mouth, foods that we eat, all the things are inside of the ebook that you'll get for free if you do that neurotoxic quiz. It'll tell you the top 10 toxins, including emotional stressors. So they're everywhere. We can't get around them. Even if you're the healthiest person eating the healthiest organic food and the most filtered water, we're just still living and swimming and breathing in these toxins that are all around us. But it doesn't have to be gloom and doom. You can see my energy levels. It could be great. And your body doesn't have to fight you anymore. And it won't, as long as you give it what it needs, which is a good detox. Her score is 90. And so that's really high. That's really high. You can't see it. It's really blurry, but anybody between 50 and 100 is moderately neurotoxic. 100 and above is very neurotoxic. So I'm going to wrap this up right now, because I do want you guys to understand that, and I hope that what you see here is just going on a detox, especially just doing celery juice, or just doing a box cleanse, or doing a candida cleanse, or a parasite flush, or just getting heavy metal chelation by a doctor. Those things can be good, but they need to all be addressed at the same time, you see, because your body is like one big tree, and there are several roots that all work together to build that tree, the base of the tree, the branches of the tree, the fruits, the flowers, the leaves, the branches. The integrity, the quality of your fruits are only as solid as the strength of your roots. So if you want to sweeten your roots, you have to strengthen your roots, right? It's all in the roots. It's all in the soil. It's all about how your body is detoxing. And so as I wrap this up, it's critical. It's vital that you consider all of the things that are contributing to your full tree. And, detox is vital. Gut healing is important. Cleansing and healing takes energy, like hormone optimization. But the reason why all 3 need to be optimized and balanced at the same time is because detoxing with poor digestive tract and detox pathways filled with bugs will usually backfire. And gut healing without simultaneously detoxing usually leads to unpleasant symptoms, because when you kill bugs, toxins spew everywhere. So we talked about that, which is number 2. Number 3, you can't fix hormones with hormones. As with all things, we must get to the root cause for most things, which are the 2 things, toxins and trauma. That's number 4. Number 5 is healing begins in the mind. So if you have a broken belief that you'll never heal and nothing will work because nothing has so far, you'll always have a broken body. Remember, as above, so below. All 4 things, mind, gut, hormones, detox, all in one, is the multidimensional alchemy that the new earth approach to healing. will finally work for you. And I'm Diane Kaiser, and I am your guide to walk you through all of this so that you don't just understand what to do now, but you understand what is hurting you moving forward so that you can abolish that from your life. You can eradicate the negative self-talk, the self-sabotage, the self-division. You can bring things into your life that nourish you and understand that every one micro decision that you make throughout the day and every thought that you think is contributing to the macro that is this beautiful temple known as you. Remember that symptoms show up as self-language from the soul, and it is time to start listening to these symptoms to decode them. What are they trying to say? So if you want to do it right and fix it once and for all, go to my website and click on Detox with Di to learn more. If you're a woman with breast implants, I want you to go to explantdetox.com. We are starting in group April 6th, 2021. I'm excited to go through all of this with you. This is the only detox in the world that goes through all of these things and addresses them all in one. There's 2 different packages there. You could just detox with me, or you could look at this big picture with all of the things and customize this protocol directly to you for where you're at. So I can do all the legwork for you and you won't have to mindlessly do online searches trying to figure out all of these things on your own, because don't you have brain fog enough? Isn't your energy low enough? So let me do the heavy lifting for you. I've been doing this for 10 years now, and I've suffered a lot so that you don't have to anymore. I'm Diane Kaiser. I'm excited, Anna, that you allowed me to share these with everybody listening so that everybody can learn. God, imagine we learn this stuff in school, right? So we are creating the new earth school, and this is what it is to ultimately learn how to listen to your intuition so that you can give your body what it needs now and forever. I'm Diane Kaiser of DianeKaiser.com, and I will see you in the next video and hopefully in the Warrior Detox program. If you have any questions, put them below. And make sure that you tag your friends who need to hear this, especially your breast implant illness warriors, people out there with hormone imbalances and who've tried everything to heal their gut or who are doing the juice cleanses and just don't feel like they're feeling their best. Tag them below. Do me a favor, tag 5 people, share this with 5 of your friends, and let's get cleansing and healing together so that you can finally ignite your life. See you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to today's show. If this episode really tugged at your soul and you're ready to have your personal breakthrough, we would love to have a heart-to-heart with you to get you crystal clear on 3 things. What do you want? What's standing in your way? And how do we get you to your soul goal in the fastest time possible? Visit my site, DianeKaiser.com/call to schedule your free 1-hour connection session with one of our warriors to map out exactly how you want to look, feel, and live. We've helped thousands of women warriors just like you all around the world free themselves from the symptoms and suffering they never thought possible. And you just might be our next success story. Talk soon.